Y'all rocking with Moon Rock's Chop Shop, and some wonder if the Acura Integra Type S is worth it. Now, trolls will tell you no. Honda fanboys will tell you absolutely. I, however, gotta tell you, it depends. So you got yourself a little bit of money. You want to drive something that matches how you feel, something fast, something sporty, something sleek, and you're thinking about maybe upgrading your whip. And if you're watching this, you probably want to make sure that you're able to afford everything outside of just the payments, because that's the easy part, right? Well, I'm gonna break down some added costs that most people either don't think about or sometimes it's hard to account for, being that I've owned the Type S for a little bit of time now. So on that note, I'll be going over the cost of things like maintenance and repair, consumables like fuel and tires, insurance costs. I'll give you a total cost of everything as it stands, and then I'll go over the things that I did personally, like mods, and probably what a lot of people might want to hear is my payments and how much all of that came together. So first things first, right? Maintenance and repair. I'll tell you guys what, when you buy a brand new car and it's guaranteed certain things by the dealership, I think it's a lot of value in having that. Me personally, because you got to understand, I didn't pay for oil change. Let me start with oil changes, right? I didn't pay for oil changes until much down the line. First of all, a lot of dealerships probably won't change your oil before 5,000 miles. Some even make you wait 7,500 miles. I don't recommend that. There's different conversations online. But anyways, I'll just say this. Between the oil changes from the dealership, which was, I had about 5 of them, I didn't pay for those. It went all the way up to 24,000 miles. However, in between those 5 oil changes, I still did my own oil changes, which on my own, I've done about 4, which at $60 a pop, that's how much my oil changes would take. That's about $240. Now, brakes. I didn't change the brakes until about 25,000 miles, if you can believe it. And I do drive pretty hard. I am considered an aggressive driver, some would say. 25,000 miles, I changed the brakes, and honestly, I didn't even get the brakes that I wanted to get. I was short on time when I was trying to change all that stuff. So unfortunately, I got some lesser brakes, but they cost me $100 for the front and $100 for the back. It was actually a little bit less for the back, but let's just round it up and say $200 to change my brakes at 25,000 miles, and that was about a year and a half in with the car. Now, outside of that, I had the cabin filter change, and after that, there really was no other maintenance. The cabin filter cost about like $30, let's just round it up. And then that's really it. In terms of repairs, I haven't really had to do any kind of repairs because everything's been covered by the warranties, which I'll get into. But no repairs, guys. It's a Honda. They don't break. Now, for consumables, and I think this one will surprise you guys. It definitely surprised me. And I'll start with the simpler ones first. For example, wiper blades. Cheap, $40, right? Didn't change them until 25,000 miles. Washer fluid. I was kind of getting it for free for some time, but it might cost you like $20 every 6 months or so. Now, tires. Let me tell you guys something. When I say that there's a lot of benefit and value from buying a car brand new and getting certain things guaranteed by the dealer, it is a superb benefit that's gonna leave you stress-free and also is gonna take care of your stuff for you. Let me explain. I have never changed a tire by myself. Luckily for me, all my tires ended up getting a nail or something in them at some point, all 4 tires, and the dealership changed them for me for free. Why? Because I got the wheel and tire package, baby. Boom, boom. The wheel and tire package, I think it cost me about $800 on my whole statement from buying the car. And each of these tires is minimum $250, right? So I already saved money just by having that into the plan of buying the car. So super worth it. I will consider it if you guys go that route. Now, the most expensive part, that will be the fuel. I drive a lot, guys. I load up on gas twice a week. Let's just call it $80 a week. I spend about $4,100 a year on gas, which is a lot of money, and I have a lead foot. So unfortunately, that's just how it goes. Now the part that everybody hates to pay for, insurance. Insurance is amazingly cheap on this car, but I do have some tricks to make it cheaper. So for 6 months of insurance, I pay about $1,500. That equates to about $250 a month, right? Give or take. Wait, let me do the math. 1,500 divided by 6. Yeah, 250. I know what I'm doing. I passed geometry. Look, $250, but that's because I pay for everything up front. 6 months of insurance up front. I think if it was I pay monthly, it would be much more expensive. Also, I have another car on my insurance. Also, I think this car is just safe insurance wise because it has a lot of safety features and it's a 4-door. So this counts as a sedan, not a sports car. Very nice. Well, it's starting to rain on me, so I'll try to make it a little bit quicker. I guess the government's being a hater with the weather machines today. But look, counting all that up, which I just told you guys, right? I just did the math, considering all that. In about a year and a half, almost 2 years, it hasn't fully been 2 years yet, I've spent about $8,900. Honestly, fuel and insurance are the two most expensive parts of that. So about a year and 7 months, 8 months, $8,900. And that's just this car. You can apply this to a lot of other cars out there. And, you know, you might, at least performance cars, you might get close to the same number or more considering certain factors. Okay guys, so it's about to storm, so had to switch up the camera angle to the POV, and it's only appropriate because I'm about to be talking about pretty much my personal experience in owning, or the cost of ownership over the 2-year period. And what that means is I'm going to talk about the mods and kind of my personal cost into the car, right? So that includes how much it took me, my payments and stuff such as that. Safety first. Alright y'all, let's ride. So the first thing I'll go over is the mods, right? Because it's a little bit more personal. So, and it's gonna change between different owners, different cars, but if you can kind of take this into account for anything you buy, I think you'll be able to, you know exactly where you're headed in terms of buying a car. So anyways, the mods that I did, I didn't do too much, but I think I always got lucky in getting a good deal and having things happen in the right time. So, you know, that has a lot to do with it. But I'll tell you the mods that I had now. I've made plenty of videos about this, but for example, the PRL intake is a mod that cost me $400, right? Then I had, what else did I have? The Honda Flash and Tune. That was another $1,000, right? So we're already at $1,400. Then I have my wheels, which I got lucky on, $750. Outside of that, I had my suspension, which I mixed the lowering springs with the spacers, cost me about $500. So, you know what I'm saying? I think the total came out to, what was it? I had it written down, $2,560, right? So right now, you're at $8,970 plus $2,560. Now, let me get into the part that probably either a lot of people want to hear or already have figured out and just need to add it up. You know what I'm saying? The payments. Now the payments, I'm gonna tell you what I pay monthly for the car. This will differ on your down payment or, you know, your interest and a lot of other factors. But, you know what I'm saying, you guys can check out my video I did about a year ago about the subject. But basically, y'all, I pay $900 a month. There's a buzzing coming from somewhere. I pay $900 a month. And I know some of you guys may be surprised about $900 a month, but this car is not exactly a cheap car, guys. So keep that into consideration when you buy a car like this in the same price range or even more expensive. It is pay to play, so make sure you got the pay so that you don't gotta give it away at the end of the day. You feel me? I didn't even mean to make that rhyme, but y'all get me. So the total of paying $900 over, let's just call it 17 months, ends up being $15,300. So when you take, what is it, $89.70 for pretty much the overarching consumables, $25.60 for my modifications, then you got $15,300 for my payments. What does that add up to? Hold on, man, let me make this turn so I could give y'all my full attention on this subject. Yeah, somebody's honking. Yo, everybody's driving so slow and horrible today. So anyways, guys, that leads up to a grand total of, let's see, $26,830 over 18 months. Is that a lot? I guess it is. Was it worth it? Hold on, let me tell you. Woo. Absolutely worth it, y'all. Absolutely worth it. All of the almost $27,000 that I've paid over almost 2 years, absolutely worth it. Oh, shit is bouncing everywhere. That was a nice little Sunday drive though, y'all, honestly. Yeah. Alright guys, so I hope this kind of helps you understand, you know, at least from my perspective, a 2-year cost of owning a car like this or something comparable. You know, it's not chump change, but if you got it, if you hustle, you know, and you want something, you deserve something, get what you want. It's always worth it to make yourself happy. Please check the link in the description below for anything you may need. Like and subscribe, comment your thoughts, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.